माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधे जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सतः श्री श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस लवै चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सतः श्री श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जाए। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जाए। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जाए। नवद्वीप श्री मायापुर धाम की जाए। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जाए। गंगा माँ यमुना माई की जाए। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जाए। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाए। श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जाए। द मोस्ट मर्सिफुल लॉर्डशिप श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन श्री श्री गौनिताय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र महारानी की जाए। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जाए। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जाए। निधाय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 27, entitled Attack by Chandavega on the City of King Puranjana, Text 6. Tasyam ajanayat putra Tasyam ajanayat putran Puranjanyam Puranjanaha Puranjanyam Puranjanaha Puranjanyam Puranjanaha Satanyekadasha Vira Satanyekadasha Vira Ayushordham Athatyaga Ayushordham Athatyaga Tasyam ajanayat putra Puranjanyam Puranjana Satanyekadasha Vira आयुषोर्धम अथात्यगा तस्याम अजनयत् पुत्रान् पुरंजन्यां पुरंजनः सतान्येकादशविरा आयुषोर्धम अथात्यगा तस्यामजनयत् पुत्रान् पुरंजन्यं पुरंजनः सतान्येकादशविरा आयुषोर्धम अथात्यगा तस्यामजनयत् पुत्रान् पुरंजन्यां पुरंजनः सतन्येकादशविरा आयुषोर्धम अथात्यगात् तस्याम अजनयत् पुत्रान् पुरंजन्यां पुरंजनः सतन्येकादशविरा आयुषोर्धम अथात्यगात्. Any Matajis? तस्याम अजनयत् पुत्रान् पुरंजन्यां पुरंजनः सतान्येकादशविरा आयुषोर्धम अथात्यगात्. तस्याम within her ajanayat he begot putran sons puranjanyam in puranjani puranjanaha king puranjana satani hundreds ekadasha 11 virat o king ayushaha of life ardham half atha in this way atyagat he passed. Translation. The great sage Narada then addressed King Prachina Barhishat. O one whose lifespan is great, Virat, in this way King Puranjana begot 1,100 sons within the womb of his wife Puranjani. However, in this business he passed away half of his lifespan. Please repeat. The great sage Narada then addressed King Prachina Barhishat. O one whose lifespan is great, Virat, in this way King Puranjana begot 1,100 sons within the womb of his wife Puranjani. However, in this business he passed away half of his lifespan. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In this verse there are several significant words, the first of which are Ekadasa Satani. Puranjana had begotten 1,100 sons within the womb of his wife and thus passed away half of his life. Actually, every man follows a similar process. If one lives for 100 years at the utmost in his family life, he simply begets children up to the age of 50. Unfortunately, at the present moment, people do not live even 100 years. Nonetheless, they beget children up to the age of 60. Another point is that formerly people used to beget 100 to 200 sons and daughters. As will be evident from the next verse, King Puranjana not only begot 1,100 sons but also 110 daughters. At the present moment, no one can produce such huge quantities of children. Instead, mankind is very busy checking the increase of population by contraceptive methods. Jai Shri Shri Gaunita, Shri Shri Radha Madan, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai. We do not find in Vedic literature that they ever used contraceptive methods, although they were begetting hundreds of children. Checking population by contraceptive method is another sinful activity. But in this age of Kali, people have become so sinful that they do not care for the resultant reactions of their sinful lives. King Puranjana lay down with his wife, Puranjani, and begot a large number of children. And there is no mention in these verses that he used contraceptive methods. According to the Vedic scriptures, the contraceptive method should be restrained in sex life. It's not that one should indulge in unrestricted sex life and avoid children by using some method to check pregnancy. If a man is in good consciousness, he consults with his religious wife, and as a result of this consultation with intelligence, one advances in his ability to estimate the value of life. In other words, if one is fortunate enough to have a good, conscientious wife, he can decide by mutual consultation that human life is meant for advancing in Krishna consciousness and not for begetting a large number of children. Children are called parinama or byproducts, and when one consults his good intelligence, he can see that his byproduct should be the expansions of his Krishna consciousness. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vansha kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhu bhaivacha paditanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langaite girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatharinam. So, in this allegorical presentation by Narada Muni to Prachina Barhishat, he is describing the activities of Puranjana, and in this verse, how Puranjana, by having association of his good wife, he had many children, and then time passed without one's knowledge. So much time passed that he did not even realize that so much time passed. Half of his time was gone by the time he had 1,100 sons and 110 daughters. And that's a huge number. So Srila Prabhupada is bringing relevance of this action of Puranjana to our present life. Prabhupada is saying that how time passes. Just like in the present day scenario also, people, they beget children up till 50. Prabhupada is saying it is up till 60 people are begetting children because they get married late, and And even to beget children is not such a easy thing these days. For various reasons, the various reasons people are not able to beget children. So we have many fertility centers these days. They are functioning because people are not able to produce children. But though people are not able to produce children, one of the reasons why people are not able to produce children is because they are draining their semen just like that, because of which their ability to produce children is curtailed. From the age of 15, 14, these days, the boys and girls mingle with each other freely, and then the very valuable semen is drained. So when actually they wanted to produce child, it is not very potent. Srila Prabhupada said that if one loses his semen greatly in the youth, then he will suffer very much in the old days. That's a rule. The main point here is that it's a very sensitive point, but it is a very important point for all of us to consider. That is, the purpose of sex life is to produce children. But one side sex life is going on, but people are not interested to produce children. And Srila Prabhupada is mentioning the natural way of restricting children is not to participate in the sex life. That is a very natural way, instead of using contraceptives. So contraceptives are only used by human beings. You don't find that any other species is using contraceptives for reproduction, stopping reproduction. So this is a very great sin. And then what did they say? Why the contraceptives are used? Because there is increase of population, which is actually, it's a myth. Increase of population, whether actually population is increasing or not increasing, that's a different subject matter. Bhumi Devi is happy to hold any number of children. It's not problem for her. What she cannot hold is one ungrateful person she cannot hold. She feels very burdened by the presence of ungrateful persons. So the quantity of people is not the problem, the quality of people is the problem. Bhumi can supply any amount of food because it's all linked. Why people are saying that overpopulation will result in scarcity of food. So because of the scarcity of food, people have to die. So reduce the population. And how do you reduce the population? By using contraceptives. The government themselves, the government is the one who is actually participating in this process of distributing contraceptives. This started about almost 50 years ago or something like that. And especially for the government employees, if they produce more than 1 or 2 children, and their increments will be cut down. If this kind of rule is put, who would be, coming forward to produce children freely? Even though they wanted to maintain the children, the government is not actually allowing them. And then, sometimes what they did, they have taken people, and then there are mass surgeries, operations. Vasectomy and tubectomy operations have been conducted. Some village women or village men, they have taken them because the government has ordered. The government has put officers in each of those regions, and they have ordered them to take these innocent people, and then they have advertised that if you actually, you spend in the hospital for 10-15 minutes or whatever time, then you get some fruits and some this and that and that. In this way, they've allured people to actually take them to the hospital, and without even their knowledge, they've actually conducted these vasectomy and tubectomy operation. This is a fact. It happened in India. And in China, it is much worse. China, they have made a rule that they cannot have more than one child. Or at best two. I don't know the exact thing, but I heard it was just one. So there was a big campaign by the government itself not to produce more children. But the natural way of not producing children is not to participate in sex life. But the sex appetite is so much, but you cannot produce children. Because if you produce too many children, what happens? First of all, the government is not allowing. The second thing is that you also have difficulty to maintain those children. So, you will find the shortcut method. And that is how the newer and newer contraceptives have come about these days. So it has become a rule practically amongst the married people. They wanted to plan their, begetting children. Why so early? We'll enjoy for next 10 years, 15 years, and then we will have our children. Because if you actually participate in the sex life and then if you allow the child to be born, the child is an obstruction for your free, enjoyment. With man and women cannot enjoy so freely when there is a child. It's natural it is. Because there are responsibilities there. So people have decided, people have completely forgotten what is the purpose of life. As Srila Prabhupada, towards the end of the purport, Prabhupada is saying that a man should consult his wife, a conscientious wife, and then discuss about what is the purpose of producing children. And if we are not producing good children, what is the point in producing good children? Or how many children that we should actually produce? And accordingly, one should participate in sex life also. Not that unrestrictedly, one can participate, but avoid the responsibility of children. So this is something which everyone knows, but no one wants to touch that subject because it is a very sensitive subject. And everybody does it, but they will not speak about it. Everybody does it. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, it's like this. If you know that this is not to be done, and we are doing it, that means we are inviting sinful reactions in our life. Very big time sinful reactions. Just like Srila Prabhupada said in the previous, purports, meat eating is bad, but consciously you eat meat. Then what happens as a result? There are big wars and people get killed. Mass killing happens in the war. Now we are talking about, so many innocent people are killed in this, in this war, in that war. But we have not discussed about how much meat that these people have eaten and from how many lifetimes. If you eat meat, you get killed in one way or the other. And similarly, if you use contraceptives, the result of contraceptive usage is that you get killed in the womb of the mother. That's the result. One may say so many things. What did the child do? The child did not even develop intelligence. The child did not even come out of the womb. Such cruelty has been administered to these jivas. But what did that jiva do before? You may say so much, but the jiva, that same person who entered into the womb of the mother, must have used contraceptives. So be ready for that. If you use contraceptives, be ready to be killed prematurely in the womb of the mother. That's the result. You can't avoid it. Just like if you eat meat, be ready to be killed. Mam Saha. You are making a declaration. Mam Saha. Mam means me, I am ready to take your position next. I am killing you and you will get the authority to kill me later. So exactly in the same way, if we use contraceptives, then we are declaring that I am ready to be killed in the womb of the mother. And if we are cheating someone, we are declaring that I am ready to be cheated. Sometimes people say, one devotee just recently told me that he has lost a lot of money in the, not share market is known, but these days much, varieties of things are coming. He got a phone call or SMS or email that he got that you can make a lot of money using the net. All you have to do is that do some ranking to this particular company, give 5 stars or 4 stars or whatever that you just do that brainless work, your money gets accumulated to you, something like that. Online, if you want an online job, you will get online job. So this is how advertisements have come, and then he just got into it. And then what they have done, they are a gang of people. It's not just one person. All these people are Nexus, and it's a company. So what they do is that they create some web application where it appears that he's doing what they're asking him to do, and then money is getting accumulated in an artificial screen. There is as if it is actually his money, but it is only in the name in the screen only. It's actually not his money. So what he has to do to claim that money, he has to give his money from his bank account. So you give your money, then you can claim this money. So what this fellow is only seeing is what is being displayed on the screen. But he is actually giving his bank details, everything, and then which account he has to transfer money, all that he is doing. And then they are putting 1, 2, 3, 4, as the money increases. And that much money you have to put. So 1 or 2 times or 3 times that you may get your money, but a big time you're gone. Suppose you have earned 500 rupees. They will say you put 200 to claim that 500. So he actually puts the 200 and gets the 500. So it's a very carefully planned thing to get all the money from your bank, and then finally a big money is gone, and then you're stuck. So that person went and told the police, the cyber crime department, this such and such thing has happened. They have stolen my money. And those people have said, they have not stolen your money. Your cheating tendency is what actually made this happen. Because you are told, you give rating. You don't even know whether that company exists or not. You don't even know how the company is functioning. And you are giving 5 stars simply. So isn't it cheating? So you began with cheating and you ended up cheated. So Srila Prabhupada said, it is more sinful to be cheated than cheating. Many people do not know this. It is more sinful to be cheated. You are allowing others to cheat you because you have cheating tendency present in you. That is, we are allowing others to cheat. Same way, nobody can harm unless we allow ourselves to be harmed. All these things are happening not because of circumstances, not because of X, Y, Z, the reasons that we try to put. It's all happening because we are misusing our independence. That's a fundamental principle. Who is pushing us to eat meat? Who is pushing us to break regulative principles? Nobody is pushing us. In fact, acharyas are safeguarding us. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. So many avenues are given for us to protect our piety, but we are voluntarily breaking this. So you cannot blame that, what to do. Sometimes people say that, you can indulge in sex life within marriage as much as you want. Then you also beget children. You have to beget children. So, what people do, actually that is why Shastra is very clear. Acharya's instructions are very clear. One time, Srila Prabhupada was speaking about sex life, and then all the men are sitting there. And then Prabhupada said, the purpose of sex life is to beget children. And the process to do that is to chant 50 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and choose a day where the woman is fertile, and then chants 50 rounds, go to the temple, pray to the deities, serve the Vaishnavas, invite them to the house and serve Vaishnavas, and then the wife should cook nicely and then serve the husband, and the husband should take prasadam, and then the wife then should take prasadam, and then they should participate in this conception. So when Prabhupada was explaining all this, one devotee was sitting there. He was so restless, and then he spelled out, "What is the point?" he said. Prabhupada said, "That is the point." So what he was trying to express is that, so much difficulty to just one time participate in the sex life. So much procedure is there. That is the point. The whole idea is to stop this. So before stopping this, making it difficult. Just like eating meat also is something like this. You should choose one Amavasya day and then go out of the town or out of the village, find a Durga temple, and then go there with a Brahmana, qualified Brahmana who can chant nicely, and then take whatever animal that you want to cut. And then all of this, after that you offer that meat to the Mother Durga, and then you eat it. So what is the point? That is the point. That you want to eat meat, you have to go through all of these things. Then finally what you will feel? You will feel vexed. You will feel, there is no point in eating meat. That's the whole idea. Same way with sex life also, because this is not conducive for Krishna consciousness. Why to go through all of this? It's better that I give up sex life. You are safe. So, but then we have exactly invented opposite things now. You can have as much as you like sex life, as much as you like, and don't take up the responsibility. So even within the devotee communities also, devotees try to find out, I am not supposed to use contraceptive methods. So what should I do? I should use those days where my wife cannot become pregnant. That's what we do. It's a fact, everyone knows this. So you know that certain dates, there are non-productive dates. Then you can indulge in sex life, and then you don't run the risk of, having children. So this is not much different from using contraceptive methods. It's not much different. You're just technically utilizing it according to your advantage. That's all it is. Why all this? If you really want to beget children, then you should discuss with your wife, and there must be understanding between wife and husband that yes, we are consciously participating in this act because this world needs good children, good population. So that is why Srila Prabhupada very, very wonderfully he coined that word, unwanted children. Varna Sankara, he translated Varna Sankara as unwanted children. What is the meaning of unwanted children? Unwanted children means very casually you participate in sex life and somebody is produced. You're not conscious, you're not willing, you're not thinking that we are doing this for producing a God conscious child. That's not your motivation. Your motivation is there is a bodily attraction, so that happens, and then the child is born. So this is called an unwanted child. Who is a wanted child? That you go to the you go to the temple, you pray to God, and you go through so many austerities and penances that God, please give us a Krishna conscious child. And after going through so many austerities and you participate in this process, you do Garbhadana Samskara and all of this, and then you may get a child. Even then there is not a guarantee that you will get a Krishna conscious child. So, throwing all these principles and then just thinking that in any way, and then the justification is that, you know what is the justification? My parents did not beget me like this, but I am become Krishna conscious now, so my child also will become Krishna conscious like this. This is the logic people have. And they bring another logic. The logic is, Hiranyakashipu begot Prahlad. So we can remain as Hiranyakashipus, but our children can be Prahlad. This is our cheating tendencies, black and blue exposed by all this. And nobody likes to hear or speak these things. But it is crystal clear. The Shastra is very clear. You want to cheat God, you get cheated by God. For sure. You want to find shortcut methods, you will get big time loss. Your whole life will be spoiled. So, it's a matter of using our independence properly. That I do not want to cross the scriptural injunctions, because if I cross the scriptural injunction, what happens is that I will lose the opportunity of this human form of life. That is the problem with scriptural, breaking the scriptural rule. Next time, even if I want to act according to dharmic principles, I will not be given intelligence to act upon dharmic principles. Cats and dogs, you cannot teach them dharmic principles. Only human beings can be taught dharmic principles. So once you become a cat or dog or whatever it is, then there is no scope to even follow dharmic principles. But even if you become a very downtrodden human being, still there is a scope to follow some religious law. That is the risk we are running by breaking these regulative principles. Be ready for that. That next life, no matter, I am not going to get human form of life. Oh, what about Swalpamapyasya dharmasya? Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Neha Vikrama Nashosti Pratyavayona Vidyate Swalpamapyasya dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. One day I also thought like that, and I was counting upon this verse. But then one day I thought, maybe I should read this purport very carefully. Then I opened the verse, 241. And it was shocking. That activity which pleases Krishna without any material motivation is called a Krishna conscious activity. And if you do that activity, then you will not, then it will count upon. Then all my hopes are gone. Prabhupada did not make it, any loose. Prabhupada made it absolutely clear that you should be very, very clear that you are doing it only for the pleasure of Krishna, and there is no selfish motive. And that if you do a little bit, that will count on in the next life. We don't have that consciousness only. We don't have that consciousness only. Maybe Ajnata Sukriti one may have, but not Jnata Sukriti. Because consciously, if you feel that this is the best thing to do, why not do it ever, all the time? Why should we stop this? So the point is that these are very, very dangerous things, and then the time just passes on. Prabhupada, very important point, Prabhupada said that if people are begetting children till the age of 60, when the Vedic standard is that if you are living for 100 years, you should stop your sex life by 50. That is the Vedic standard. And the modern standard is, you are going to die till 60, at the age of 60, but you will produce children till the age of 60. You work also till the age of your death. You participate in sex life till the age of death. And you be anxious about your children's future till the age of death. Just like Ajamil. Ajamila was 81 years old. How many? 81 years old Ajamila. And he had produced 8-year-old child. And he was worried about the child. So that is why he was anxiously calling when he saw the Yamadutas, Narayana, 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 Narayana. He was very anxious. So this is a present modern civilization, and this modern civilization is product of modern education. Modern education is what is teaching is that you make up your career, you come to a very strong financial, status, and then you get married. Otherwise, your wife will not respect you. So that is why you should have a very strong financial support. And that also is gone now. And then you also earn, I also will earn. Both of us, let us earn. Because we cannot live in a big city like Hyderabad or Bangalore without two people earning. But then why to have marriage, by the way? We have to go through the process of, legal divorce and all this. So even cut that also short. Live together. How about children? If we live together, no children. Only when we get separated, you adopt one child, I'll adopt my child. This is what is the present day situation, unfortunately. How we have made a 180-degree shift from what we are supposed to do and what we are doing. And we are not even conscious of this. And there are a set of people who try to say, hey, don't bother about all these things, these are all humbug, it's all old-fashioned. It's like, one cat is coming to drink milk which is, outside. He doesn't want to be observed by anyone. So what he does, he closes his eyes and goes and drinks the milk. Think that nobody is observing me. No, sir. You are closing. That doesn't mean the whole world is seeing you. You are not able to see the whole world. In the same way, we are trying to justify in various ways that, it's okay. It's not okay. It's not at all okay. It may be very disappointing news, but that's truth. Even if it is disappointing, truth has to be accepted. Prabhupada writes in one of the purport that if there are principles that you have to follow, even if you are not able to follow the principle, don't resent those principles. Then there is a chance that one day you may come to the standard of following those principles. But if you try to resent them, saying that, that doesn't exist, these are all man-made rules, it cannot be so difficult like that. If it is so difficult, that means there is something wrong with it. By the way, I'm following it, I'm going roundabout. When there is justification, there is no purification. We are always justifying. We are committing mistakes, we are breaking the principles which is given by the Shastra, and we are always justifying. It is okay, it's okay. Like it is said, sometimes what people say. According to scripture, in Kali Yuga, even if you think bad about others, the result of thinking bad about others will not hit you. That is a Kali Yuga principle. But in Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Satya Yuga, if you think bad about others, the result will come. So I can nicely think bad about others but not get any result. You see, this is how people think. But according to Bhagavad Gita, dhyayate vishyan pumsha sangasteshu upajayate sangha sanjayate kama kamat krodho bhajayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammoha smriti vibramaha smriti bramshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. This constant thinking will manifest into an action sooner or later. So you can't just do away with that principle. That is said about accidental thinking of bad about someone, just accidentally. You're not consciously thinking bad. But if you're consciously thinking bad about someone, it is going to result in action. Guaranteed. So this is called justification, or trying to interpret the rules of the scripture according to your convenience. You think the rules are so weak, or they are proposed by weak men, that they can be interpreted by you? The rules are rules given by God. Dharmastu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. So no one can try to manipulate the rules of God. If you try to manipulate the rules of God, we will become the victims. That much sanity we should know. It said, no, parking at the owner's risk. When you park a vehicle, parking at owner's risk. Break the principles at risk of losing human form of life. That's declared. If you want to do it, do it. Krishna has given a chance to break. So, but why so many positive opportunities are given to not to break? Why should we break it? Holy name is there, association of devotees is there, deities are there, prasadam is there, so many Bhagavatam is there, so many positive things are there. Why don't we take advantage of these positive things? Than counting so many negative things that we find in this. Oh, Kali Yuga, so many distractions are there, mobile phones are there, internet is there, this is there, that is there. You count these things also. Why don't you count the blessings? Why only you count the distractions? So because of all these distractions, I am not able to follow. What does that say? That says the mentality about the person. It's a tough thing to digest, but it's the truth. It only proves that how insincere we are. The very fact that we are born in Kali Yuga, it's not a very good qualification. Why? Who will be born in Kali Yuga? Cheaters only will be born in Kali Yuga. That's all. So we are not born with great qualifications. So we must understand that. But opportunity is given. Kalor dosha nidhyarajan hastineko mahadguna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param rajet. Although Kali Yuga is full of bad things, doshas, but one good quality is given. Why don't you count on that? This is called Mahakali, Punyakali. Punyakali because in this Kali Yuga, chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra will elevate you from all sinful reactions. That is why this is Punyakali. Thanks to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So instead of just justifying, these are very difficult things to do. I cannot follow these things. So better I don't even read these things. Sometimes devotees feel, why did I become a devotee? I am not able to enjoy my sense gratification to my heart's content. Earlier I used to enjoy it to my heart's content. Now, na ghar ka na ghat ka ho gaya mera. Abhi, I am not able to enjoy, I am not able to live. What to do? This is how sometimes devotees. I am sure each one of us must have gone through this phase, isn't it? ये कान पे नहीं डाला तो अच्छा रहता था, but unnecessarily I am participating in Bhagavatam class and not able to enjoy this sense gratification fully. That is why it's nice that it went into your ears. Now it's only one-way journey, no two-way journey. We should go towards following these principles, not giving up Krishna consciousness, no matter what, come what may. So that shows our sincerity. So a devotee, even though he falls down, he again gets up and become determined. I will not give it up. I know Krishna has given these rules for me to follow. This is the sincerity of a devotee. So we should actually become sincere. We should become devotees, sincere practitioners. When we become sincere practitioners, you get encouragement from Lord and devotees of the Lord. Just like when the child tries to get up and the child falls down and the child doesn't make a second attempt, the parents will not feel much happy. But when the child is again trying to get up, no, don't worry, come, get up, come, like this. There is so much encouragement from the parents and then other elders in the family. Then the child gets up. Slowly, the child gets up, walks, and then finally runs from one corner of the house to the other. So there must be determination, there must be encouragement. Then it is possible. So Krishna consciousness is not some impossible task. If it is an impossible task, Krishna would not have given to us. It is quite possible. Even now, so many people are practicing this standard. I know personally many people who are practicing this standard. Same standard what is presented here. It's not that, devotees who are just not following this standard. There are devotees who are following this standard. It is possible. You depend on Krishna, pray to Krishna, it is possible. Even in such a distracted age, even with all the bad association that we have around, still it is possible. You have to have the desire to follow. That's all. Krishna will make all arrangements. We must have that faith. That is actually faith. Shraddha sabde Viswasa kahe sudhruda nishchayaha Krishna bhakti koile sarva karma kruta hoya. It is possible. We have to desire, that's all. So I hope no one is offended by this class. It's a sensitive subject, I know. But I can't manufacture something else than what Prabhupada said in the purport, just to appease the audience. If anyone is hurt, please forgive me. I am not on that standard of what is being discussed here. I want to come to that standard. But I have a strong faith that if we desire, Krishna will definitely give us that strength to follow this standard. So with these words, I would like to stop, and if anyone has any question or a comment. Yes, Prabhu.
Population imbalance in India.
There is a talk of?
Population imbalance in India. Certain religious people are purposely producing and trying to overpopulate India so that after certain years they achieve a certain threshold and can take over. What about that?
You know how I look at it?
I would like to point out Bengal. Everybody is anxious about Bengal nowadays. Look at Kashmir, what happened?
I look at it.
What is the guarantee that it will not be repeated in Bengal?
I understand your question, but let me answer that question. It's an artificial fear that is being created. In fact, I don't know whether one community is creating this artificial fear, rather another community is feeling this artificial fear that we are going to be taken over. And the other community is trying to do this in the name of their God. So it is application of dharmic principles in a mode of ignorance for them. But for the other community it is much worse. A fox, he looked at a tiger, and the tiger was very ferocious because of the different scars that the tiger has. So what the fox did, he took one iron rod and put it in the fire, and he tried to put those artificial scars all over his body to simply appear like a lion. But for the rest of his life, he suffered because of this, all these scars. That is what the one community is doing, thinking about the other community. It is simply a lack of faith on God. What is the use of 1,000 fellows, unintelligent fellows in front of one intelligent person? One intelligent person can control 1,000 people. That is why there are Sudras. The calculation according to Vedas is that 1,000 Sudras are controlled by, 100 Vaishyas, who are in turn controlled by 10 Kshatriyas, who are in turn controlled by one Brahmana. That is the calculation. So, which is better? Producing one quality Brahmana is better, or producing 1,000 Sudras is better? Now it's up to us. So then the justification comes, we are not able to produce. It is the democracy. And everyone has one vote. This is a very bad, this is a non-Krishna conscious thinking. It is a faithlessness thinking without, proper faith on God, this thinking. And it's very dangerous. If anybody supports this, I for myself personally don't subscribe to this kind of a thinking. Because this is a very dangerous, bad thinking. I know you have further. Huh?
Mohan Bhagwat, chief of RSS, openly said about this.
Mohan Bhagwat is not our authority. Prabhupada is our authority. Vedas are our authority.
But today, at least, because of RSS only, we are in this position.
Because of Krishna we are existing, not because of RSS.
Okay, that is the difference.
I'm not saying the RSS is doing bad work or something. RSS may be doing good work, and many other organizations also may be doing good work. But it is only because of Krishna's mercy. The Supreme Lord is protecting us. That is why we are here today like this. Don't take away that Krishna's mercy and attribute it to anybody else. In fact, I would say, in spite of so many dangerous organizations, still we are living like this, only because of Krishna. Only because of Krishna. You have Al-Qaeda, you have this, you have that, still you are living. How do you think you are living? It is because of Krishna. So, we should not be unnecessarily be worried. We should have faith in Krishna.
Thank you very much, Vedanta. Very beautiful class and very vital subject matter, I feel. And only someone like a Grihastha devotee like you can speak on this topic and inspiring many hundreds and thousands of Grihasthas on this very important principle that Srila Prabhupada taught. And actually Prabhupada says that it is the tapasya which one follows by avoiding unnecessary sex life that actually gives the spiritual impetus for a person to become fired up in Krishna consciousness. On the contrary, one who is going to be lax in this principle, then one also becomes very slack in spiritual life. So it was very nice. And also when Prabhuji was asking that question, I was thinking that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years ago, and it was actually, invaders had come and they were ruling the country. So the period of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, period of Goswamis, and period of Acharyas, Krishna consciousness was at the peak, flourishing at that time. If you read the Kaviraj Goswami's Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Radha Govind temple, thousands and thousands of people would visit even at that time, because our Hindus were paying tax, but life was going on. Actually, bhakti has no material impediments. One wants to pray. On the contrary, now India has got freedom now, and we may say that we are ruling the country now, and you can see how nasty the country is now. Even the Hindus have forgotten their dharma, and they are simply making money and doing sense gratification. So 500 years ago, when there was a foreign rule, at least people had fear and they would run to Krishna. So I would rather be under fear and run to Krishna rather than not have any fear and do sense gratification.
Exactly.
I was thinking that.
We have difficulty in obtaining the permission for Rath Yatra with Hindu authorities than others. The other days, other previous years, we had easy, when someone else was there. And in the freedom state, 500 years ago, as you were saying, that there was a time where you go out for chanting Hare Krishna, your mrudangas are broken, and you will be beheaded. That was the rule. Nawab Hussain Shah Qazi's rule it was 500 years ago. Today we are much more freed from that kind of rule. But we are sick inside. That is a problem. So it's true, as when you were saying that, I was remembering, Haridas Thakur was put in jail. So the other jailmates, they were very unhappy that we are put in jail. Haridas Thakur said, it is a great protection. All of us are in jail, we can chant Hare Krishna together without any disturbance. Isn't it a better thing to do? This is what Haridas Thakur said. So devotee always sees the brighter side than the darker side. So we should not be worried too much. I think this is good. Whatever is happening is good. And also it is said that this Krishna conscious, this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra and then this Krishna consciousness movement will be there for next 10,000 years. This is considered to be the golden age. The golden age just started then. Because the golden age started 500 years ago from Lord Chaitanya's appearance. So it's still much peaks this movement is going to go. With all the advancement of technology, etc., etc., etc. Still the golden is yet to manifest. We are already on the phase of golden age. Please continue.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I had one question, Prabhu. This NOI, Nectar of Instruction, the first 3 verses, there are 18 principles that are taught by Rupa Goswami Pad. Now, one of which you spoke now, Upastha Vegam, which you spoke now. Now, sometimes it is seen that a boy is forced to marry a girl of the same caste by his parents, although he wants to marry a devotee girl, or vice versa. It can happen like that. Then there is a kind of mismatch in their marriage because one is materially oriented, one is spiritually oriented, and they come together. So one is interested in going to Krishna and another one is interested in enjoying in material world there. So when such mismatch happens, then people find it difficult to apply this principle because, see, for brahmacharis, we are single. So we only have to surrender, that's all. We don't have one more person to worry about. But in a family, they both are together.
Right.
So they are like one unit. So within one unit only there is a cleavage. So how would this be administered on such families? Especially it's becoming all the more nowadays.
It's a very, practical question in the sense, I'm sure each one of us are seeing this. That, in the family, if the boy is Krishna conscious, thanks to your preaching, you are making boys Krishna conscious. And but then there is a negative situation at home. The parents are not supporting or the others. And then the boys are somehow succumb to the parents' pressure and they have to marry the same, caste or whatever it is. So I think, an overall preaching has to happen. Only the boys, all the youth preaching, youth means only boys preaching is one thing, but even the other girls also have to be educated. And their parents have to be educated. So only when everyone is educated, it is possible. Otherwise, the boys have to be very determined to even go against the parents' wish and then marry only Krishna conscious, seek Krishna conscious wife, which is a very difficult thing because they are not so strong to go against because after all it is mother and father. And then now you compromise on that and then marry someone who is not exposed to Krishna conscious principles. So simultaneously you have to educate that person, at the same time not break the marriage. It's a very, very tough thing. It is like, you push someone in water and then learn swimming. Right? It is very difficult. You can't actually do that. You can't push someone in the water and ask him to learn swimming. It is not possible. So that is why I think overall preaching has to happen by various classes of people. The parents have to be taken care, the elders have to be educated, the women has to be educated, the young boys have to be educated, everyone has to be educated. But nevertheless, nobody can force. In my opinion, the young people who want to get married, they have to make it clear. Not only boys, even the girls, they have to make it clear to the parents. This is the path that I have chosen. Kindly respect this path. I have not chosen a wrong path. I need your blessings. I need your support for choosing this path. So, find somebody who is also interested in this path. That is what is required. These days, the young boys, when they are getting married, they are not able to even say that we don't eat meat, we don't, that much they are not able to say. Forget about illicit sex and all, Govinda, that is. If they say, there won't be anybody who will come forward. But they are not able to even say this much. These are our habits. Because the girls are not there equivalently, or even if the girls are Krishna conscious, who will marry them if they say, this is what I am following? So there's a great mismatch is there. So a lot of education has to happen in all sections of the society. Only then it is possible. Otherwise it is an uphill task. And our boys are not so determined like that. And practically what happens after that, they'll slowly, their Krishna conscious serious practices, what they had practiced, either they were in brahmachari ashram or whether they were in youth boys ashram, later on they'll just become very weak and become pious materialists. That's what happens. So we all have actually responsibility towards that, I feel. We are not able to match your pace. You are increasing the boys, but we are not able to increase the girls and then the grahasthas. So there is a mismatch in the pace. So that is why Radheshyam Prabhu also does the other thing also. Not only he preaches to the boys, but he also preaches to the congregation so that there are sufficient number of parents who will allow such things to happen. So I think by the efforts, combined efforts of many of us, by the blessings of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, it is possible. Where there is a will, there is a way. But we can't compromise. My feeling is that in the name of, anything else, we can't compromise on Krishna consciousness. I don't know whether that has any sense, make any sense to you. Anything else? We already crossed 9:30, sorry, 9:30 we have. We'll close. Any other questions? If you want to ask personally, you can ask. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.